Hi and welcome to Money Talks. I'm joined by IB Times UK's expert financial columnist Edmund Shing. Hi Edmund.
Good morning, Alfred.
Now this week we're going to be talking about millennials, a generation I'm happy to admit I'm part of, and that is the group of people aged between 18 and 35 who you say have rather different consumer spending habits from the previous generation.
That's right, Alfred. Now, the joke of it is, of course, I'm not a millennial. I'm far older than you. I'm Generation X, which is now getting old and grey. But I look at my kids, and my oldest is 19, so he's part of the generation just like yourself. And what I do notice about this generation is consumption habits have changed quite markedly. And I think that is obviously a function of technology, of social media, and of Facebook generation, as it were. But what we see these days is that people of your generation, as opposed to my generation, are much more fascinated by experiences and see those as the things to be desired rather than goods, like a car, for instance. And I think that is quite a substantial change between the generations.
And you mentioned in your article as well that it's the fact that this is a digital generation that has been brought up on the internet and social media in particular that has shaped their consumer habits as well.
I think that's right. So as millennials have grown up, they've grown up completely imbued with the internet, with social media, and that has completely changed the way that they interact with the world. And I think more importantly, it's changed the way that they get information from the world as well. In other words, instead of relying on experts, they can now look at blogs, they look at Twitter feeds and get information that way. There are a lot of feedback sites. For instance, if you buy on eBay or you buy on any number of other sites, you instantly see the feedback, the reviews of other people who've bought the same product or service. And I think that is very important. And that's why things like TripAdvisor are so successful today and why they become so important for companies like hotel chains. Because really, at the end of the day, that's what we look at. That is actually the first port of call. When we want to go visit somewhere, we want to find a nice hotel, we probably go first of all to TripAdvisor to see what other people have said about that hotel.
So we have an emerging generation who readily embrace technology and, as you say, value experience over ownership.
Absolutely.
How can investors make money from that?
Well, I think what it tells you is that a lot of the traditional consumption sectors are coming under increasing pressure. Retail being an obvious one. As we see the shift to online retail, then classic bricks and mortar retail has come under more and more pressure, so I'd stay away from that. I think there are three areas. First area I would look at would be obviously technology, because without technology, none of this works. So clearly the likes of Amazon, Google, Microsoft, as we've mentioned before, and I think the easiest way to buy that group of technology companies, because they are mostly American companies, is to buy an exchange-traded fund, an ETF. And there is a good one, which I've listed in the article, which is based on the NASDAQ 100, the largest constituents of which are, of course, Apple, Microsoft, Google, Facebook, and so on. So that would be the first one. The second one, which I think plays to the experience idea, is very much budget airlines. And again, we've talked about these before. They benefit a lot from the low oil price at the moment. But more importantly, millennials love traveling. They love traveling either on short weekends, longer holidays, but they travel a lot more than previous generations. And the budget airlines are perfectly positioned to benefit from that growth in volumes.
Well, thank you very much, Ed.
My pleasure, Alfred.
And for all our business coverage, go to our website, ibtimes.co.uk.